I know, I'm terrible at keeping up with these videos. Believe it or not, it can be kind of hard for me to be inspired enough to make one of these videos. Honestly, at this point, I don't know why I don't just record when I draw any old thing. It's not like these are the only art I do. So, to save time, after being a month late, we're just gonna hop right into this. So here we go. Today, I am doing a self-portrait. Now, if you've seen my DeviantArt before, I've done self-portraits before. Not a lot of them. And I guess technically, you could consider my animation cells a dozen little portraits of myself. But I wanted to try something a little more, I don't want to say hyper-realistic, but less cartoony, I guess, maybe? That would be the right term. Something a little more accurate in shape and size and dimension, except for the eyes, which came out weirdly large. So I'm not incredibly happy about that, but you know, once I draw it, it's kind of on there and I can't fix it, or at least I'm too lazy to fix it. And I did this, I like to think it was fairly accurate. I took a picture of myself just randomly and based it on that, so we're gonna see how accurate this came out. And this is just, you know, a quick little video, because I couldn't figure out what to draw, because as always, whenever I finish a video, I'm like, oh, I'll do a video next week, and then next week comes, and then I'm like, oh, I'm not really in the mood right now, I don't have inspiration, I'll do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow turns into a month, and then I'm like, oh, well, I don't remember what I was doing, I don't know what I want to draw. So I was like, you know, I've never drawn like a portrait of myself. I'm always drawing like cartoon characters or mythology stuff. So let's do something more personal, I guess you could say. I don't know if this would be personal in a major way, but I want to do myself, I guess. Let's draw a self-portrait. Become a little more familiar with the individual bringing you this medium, all this art and this media. Even though I'm fairly certain most of you are familiar with my face by now, or at least vaguely, and this gives a little more realistic, less toony perspective on me, even though I've shown my face in other videos before, so y'all know what I look like. You can tell me how accurate this is and or is not. It took me about an hour and a half to draw, and then another 20 minutes or so to do all like the blending and the shading and everything, which I'm not super happy with this one. And I know I say that on every video, I'm not happy with this, I'm not happy with that, but that's just an artist thing. I'm never really happy with what I draw in the end. It's never good enough. But this one particularly bothered me. The hair was flat. I didn't feel that the shading was all that great in certain areas. And my eyes are massive, and you can see right here they're massive, but it doesn't look too different than anything else I draw, because, you know, I always have like that cartoony big-eyed look, and I was trying to do something, you know, along those lines, but more representative of how I actually look. But then it finishes, and I'm just like, oh, that looks like a damn alien or something, so it didn't quite work out the way that I had desired. And I mean, honestly, I'm really not convinced this was all that interesting an idea for a video. But I figured, well, I haven't drawn anything in a while, and I gotta get something out. So this gives a pretty good idea when approaching self-portraits, I guess, when you're drawing with digital art, or in my case, MS Paint. And, you know, making pictures of oneself or portraits of other people, you know. And how it's not too different than doing cartoons. Could I have done a better job? Probably, but that would have required more time, and, well, I barely have time to draw the stuff that is, you know, actually interesting to me, let alone something that is, you know, just off the cuff. And just to do the head took longer than most of my videos do, which is ridiculous to think about. Got a little discoloring going on here, because I got these bad bags under my eyes. I always have ever since I was a little kid. And they just don't want to go away. So I got to put some of that in there, and I'm hoping the coloration isn't too off. I feel like it was. But once everything's blended and the colors mixed together well, and you know, and all the shading's done, it kind of looks better, but not a lot. I don't know. I feel it's fine, but you guys, once again, be the judge at the end. I think it looks good at this point. I definitely feel like I would have done better on the eyes, but everything else up till this point looks acceptable, I guess. But like I was saying before, there's still parts of it that I just wasn't like totally happy with or satisfied, but it's done now, so you know, my opinion on how good it does or does not look doesn't really matter. I kind of want to do a more full body thing with it now, because it did come out good, or at least it started good. Whether it ended good or not, I don't think it did. But the idea, how it went, and then just seeing the realism and how well everything was coming together, the head shape, the neck, and all of this here. I kind of want to do more stuff like this, which I've wanted to do for a while. I've wanted to do like my drawing versions of like famous like statues and things, like the Statue of David or the Eiffel Tower. Well, not the Eiffel Tower, excuse me, the Statue of Liberty. It's built by the same guy, different thing. I kind of want to draw stuff like that, because a couple years ago I drew like a cartoony version of the Mona Lisa, and now I kind of want to do it again, but I want to do like a more my style again, but more hyper realistic and less, you know, silly looking, kind of like this. So this is kind of a predecessor to that, and I can't say I'm going to do any of those anytime soon, because again, I had to be, my attention to detail had to be a lot more precise with this one. I had to be a lot more specific with my strokes, and I had to try and be more, what's the word? I guess on point is a good term. I was looking for a more direct word, but I had to be very specific with where I put lines, and had to be as accurate as possible with what I was doing. And to some degree it was. I kind of feel like I was a little lazy with some of it, but I honestly don't know what else I could have done. At least anything that would have made this doable within, you know, a couple of hours. Because I started at this at like, I don't know, 2 at night, and it's almost 6 o'clock right now, so I've kind of been working on this for a few hours. At least the video editing. Drawing it, again, only took about like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So not horribly long, but still a healthy amount of time. And now we're getting the hair on here, and I'm not even sure if I did the right shade right, because I'm kind of colorblind, so colors come out weird to me. They don't always look right. I know I'm definitely within the redhead or ginger spectrum of things, but I have a hard time just like telling what exactly that shade is. Because my family say it's straight up orange. My mother thinks it's red, and it says so on my driver's license and everything, because, you know, why not just simplify, you know, generalize. And I guess specific tone doesn't matter anyway, but I just kind of went with like a burnt orange kind of color, which I feel is accurate enough. If nothing else, it's in the ballpark. It's certainly more accurate than my avatar that you guys normally see when you watch the videos that I do the intros with. So all things considered, I guess the color was right, and the shading came out fine. The outline, I probably could have done a better color for, because it's really standing out, and as I'm re-watching this, I really see how it's more of like a brown or a darkish red against the orange, and it stands out in all the worst ways, but once again, I can't really fix that anymore. Here we're going to getting some of that lighting in there, to add some form of light, which I should have done on the face too. I should have added more lighting, but I didn't. There were so many ideas that I had to keep track of all at once while I was doing this. So I don't know, maybe I did it too quickly. Maybe I should have taken more time. Maybe I should have broken this up over a few more hours. I don't know. Because there's so many things I want to do in a day, and when it comes to my drawing, these art videos, I don't really get too much time for it, especially with work lately. Another thing that bothers me, I think I might have made my eyebrows a little too thick. But I don't know, maybe that again is just like a personal perspective, self-conscious thing. I don't really know. I do keep my brows furrowed almost constantly. I know that's definitely on point. But you guys, again, be the judge. We're almost done here. You're going to see the shaded mode of it, and you're going to see just how awful the eyes look once I put the irises and the pupils in there. I guess it looks fine like this. Maybe we should just kept it this soulless, like, and there it is. Yeah, so looks fine except for the eyes. It's the eyes, man.